Okay, Bismillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah, rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to all of you. A very, very warm welcome from all of us here at QSL.
Walaikum salam.
Okay, let's try that again. A very warm welcome to all of you from everybody here at QSL, from myself. My name is Salma, and I will be taking you through the Tajweed aspect of the program. Also, a warm welcome from Sister Zuleika, who will be taking you through the tafsir of the program. And of course, everybody also who is working very hard behind the scenes. They're all very excited to have you here with us today. So the point of today, inshallah, is to really give you an idea of what to expect from the program. And also if any expectations that we have of you. It's also a really good opportunity just to make sure all the connection works okay, that you can connect okay and you can hear us okay, and also that everything is working on our end for you, so that when we start inshallah tomorrow, everything inshallah, we shouldn't have any problems, and Allah will allow everything just to move smoothly. Okay, moving on. Okay, so the course will be taking you through Surah Al-Mulk. The idea is to keep it something which is manageable for you, something which is easy for you to keep up. And that's why we've kept it so that you're only doing one ayah a day. So, you know, sometimes we can go into Ramadan and we're trying to do too much, and sometimes it can get quite heavy. And after a week or two, we start to feel the strain of that, and then we sort of slow down. So inshallah, with this, we've thought of picking a surah where you go through one ayah a day, which inshallah is something that you can keep up with. Okay, something that we can all keep up with, inshallah, we can see it to the end of the month, inshallah. We're going to dedicate, inshallah, 30 minutes to the tajweed. So that will go from 11:30 to 12 p.m. And then that will be followed by the meaning, or the tafsir. The tafsir that we're using predominantly is As-Sa'di. I know most of you are probably familiar with, for those of you that probably only are beginners to tafsir, you may be using tafsir As-Sa'di, tafsir Ibn Kathir. That may be familiar with you. So inshallah, this will be a new, you know, every tafsir has beauty in it and an enjoyment in it. So this will, inshallah, going through tafsir As-Sa'di will be, hopefully you'll hear some new things. And inshallah, it will be a real iman boost for you. This will last for another 30 minutes from 12 o'clock to 12:30 p.m. inshallah. And this will be done by our dear sister Zuleika. Now, I've written here that this is an opportunity to memorize. And the reason I've said this is not because you have to do this. This is not a requirement of the course. So I don't want you coming in thinking, oh my gosh, we have to memorize this. If you do not wish to memorize it, and you've never memorized before, or maybe you've only memorized a little bit when you were young, then don't worry. You do not need to memorize. But the reason I've put this out there is because for those of you that are able, for those of you that are maybe already starting to memorize maybe smaller surahs from the 30th juz, or maybe something that you want to start, then this is a really good opportunity because it's in these manageable chunks where you do one ayah a day. It's a good way to get into it. Maybe you've wanted to memorize for a very long time and you've just not been able to start. Then this, inshallah, is a good time, good opportunity in Ramadan for you to actually start memorizing. And then inshallah, maybe after Ramadan, you can then continue onto other surahs. This can almost be like a springboard for you. There's a small note there that just the timings that I've given are GMT, so they are the UK timings. So if you're from other parts of the world, then inshallah you will have to check the time in your country. Okay, so why Surah Al-Mulk? I've already mentioned it's because it's a good surah to do in Ramadan in the sense of the number of ayat. There's 30 ayat. You do one a day. You can actually complete it in Ramadan quite comfortably. But there is another reason that I've asked Sister Zuleika also to cover this surah with me, and that is because there is a hadith by Ibn Mas'ud radiallahu anhu, who said, whoever recites تبارك الذي بيده الملك, so Surah Tabarak, every night Allah will protect him thereby from the punishment of the grave. And at the time of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we used to call it the protector. It is a surah in the book of Allah, which whoever recites it every night, he will have done a great deal and done well. This hadith really is a great motivation for us. You know, we know that the punishment of the grave is something a lot of people, may Allah protect us all from the punishment of the grave, but it's something a lot of people will be going through, believers included. And really, you know, when you think of that, it should sort of encourage you that what can I do to make sure I am not one of those people, to make sure I'm one of the people who are protected. You know, you do your bit and then you leave your trust in Allah, you have tawakkul in Him. So if you recite Surah Al-Mulk every night before you go to sleep, then you can trust Allah, you make dua to Allah that Allah, you know, you have the intention that Allah is going to protect you from the punishment of the grave by you doing this action every night. And, you know, at the beginning, it may feel a little bit, if you're not used to it, you know, you may have to take out your, if you don't already know this surah off by heart, you may find that you have to take out the mushaf and you have to sit and read and make that special time. And if you do it that way, then over time, you will have eventually memorized it and you will be able to just, for example, just lie in your bed and recite it to yourself. You can have the light off, whatever. You don't have to take out special time. It just becomes part of your routine. Or you could do it this way, where you try to memorize it during this month. And inshallah, with this intention that you're going to recite it every night, you won't ever forget it, because it means after Ramadan, it is something you will be reciting every day. So this is, you know, actions are by intention. And you can have this intention, you know, there's many different intentions sometimes you can have for the same act. So your intention for doing this course could be, okay, I want to do this because I want to learn how to recite better, or I want to understand. This is a course which is going to help me to understand the words of Allah, and I want to do it. But you can also have other intentions with it. You can have the intention that I want to memorize it, or you can have the intention that you want to become one of the Ahlul Quran. You know, you want to become one of the people who are often reciting the Quran. You want the Quran to be a companion for you in the grave. You want the Quran to be an intercessor for you on the Day of Judgment. You want the Quran to be a healing for you, a shifa for you. You want it to, cure your ills of the heart. There are many, many intentions, and you can have all of those intentions just by doing this one act. So this is something that I wanted to use this hadith to really give you that encouragement and to see, you know, so this is just one benefit that I've given you of memorizing Surah Al-Mulk, not just memorizing, but and you don't have to memorize it to recite it every night. You can just take up the Mus'haf and read it. But this, inshallah, I think tomorrow Sister Zuleika will be going through some of the other virtues of Surah Al-Mulk, so that's something to look forward to as well. So moving on, I'd like to talk about the next part, which is how to make sure that you don't miss out on anything, and how to make sure that you're always you know, connected with us. So the first thing I'd like to remind you of, and I think most of you are here on YouTube anyway, so you already know this, that this program will be will be streamed live on YouTube every day. This means that ideally you want to be subscribed to our YouTube channel. For those of you that don't know, it means that you'll get a notification and you'll be on the ball with whenever we go live. You'll get a notification popping up to tell you that, okay, the channel is going live, and you won't miss a class, inshallah, that way. Also, we will have recordings available. However, the key sort of thing that I want to remind you of is the recordings will not have any images, so you won't be able to see either myself or Sister Zuleika in any of the recordings. So really, you want to be attending the live if you can. Of course, the recordings, you can still benefit if you cannot make the live recordings. That's the ideal situation where you attend the live, but if you can't, you can still benefit from the recordings, inshallah. We will be using Telegram for all our communication. So any announcements that need to be made, including the sharing of any links. So when we have a recording available, we may share the link for that on the Telegram group. So that's another way that you can communicate with us. The Telegram channel actually does have a group where you can ask questions. So it's a good platform to ask whatever questions. And there could be questions related to tajweed, it could be questions related to the tafsir aspect. We ask that you do try to limit your questions though to whatever was discussed on the day, inshallah. It just means that we can sort of, you know, the questions are a little bit easier for us to keep on top of, inshallah. If you want further information on how you can actually join the channels or any of the groups, then you can get details of that on our website. That's qsl.org.uk/Ramadan. Okay, moving on. So how can you get the most out of this course? You've come in, you know, mashallah, alhamdulillah, you've all, and well done to you all for actually signing up and having the intention to do something positive this Ramadan. You want to get closer to Allah. You're trying to do it through His book. You've seen a course and you've signed up for it. So that's great. But at the same time, we want to work with ihsan. We want to make sure that whatever we do, we give it our all. We want to do whatever we do for Allah, we want to do it well. And we want to give it 100%. So how can we make sure that this course, we are maximizing the benefit that we get from it? So the first thing is, as mentioned before, is try to attend the live lessons. That's the best way, because sometimes there will be aspects of, for example, the tajweed where I may have to show you something. I may have to show you how I'm moving my mouth, for example. And for that reason, you need to see me. In the recordings, you won't be able to see, you'll hear my description of what I'm doing, but you won't be able to actually see me. So live lessons are ideal. If not though, remember, don't, you know, for example, if you're working at that time or there's something else going on and you want to make it to the live lessons, but you can't, don't worry. That's why we have the recording, so that at least you can benefit from something. Okay, so please don't feel like if I can't attend the live, that's it, I've lost out. The recordings are there for you. And the good thing, of course, about the YouTube is that you can pause and rewind the live lesson. And this is brilliant because even for me, some of the classes that I attend, it's always been, I'm always trying to scribble down notes at the same time. And it's always really nice to have, you know, when you're falling a bit behind, to just stop, rewind a little bit so that you don't miss anything. So if you're, for example, making notes, or you feel like you misheard something, or you haven't heard something quite right, or you missed something because you were thinking about something else, then you can easily rewind the live lesson. So that's quite a good, that's a positive to take from that. Just to remind you of punctuality, we will be starting on time. I do apologize for today. There was a few minutes delay, and there was just a few technical issues that I had to deal with. But alhamdulillah, I hope they are sorted now. So inshallah, from tomorrow, inshallah, we will be starting bang on time. So please do attend from the beginning. I don't want you having to miss out on, you know, sometimes we talk about, you know, as soon as we start, we're going to dive in straight. So I don't want you missing out on any information, inshallah. Now the next thing that I've brought up here is really for the tajweed side. And I've said having a mirror is recommended. I would strongly recommend that you have, it could be a small mirror like the cosmetic mirrors that you get, or something that you can put on the table next to you, any kind of mirror. This is only just for your own use. But you know, for example, sometimes in a lesson, I may be saying to you, move your mouth like this, or you need to make sure your lips are like this. When I say these things, sometimes if you can't see yourself, you can imagine yourself doing it. But unless you see yourself, you can't confirm. Sometimes you feel like you're doing something, but you're not. So there will be times where you will need to look at yourself. And if you've got the mirror handy, you just lift it up, you look at yourself, and you'll know straight away, oh, I'm not saying it quite right. Or yes, I am saying it right. So please do keep a mirror to hand. It will help you a lot. don't save it for later. Don't think, oh, after the lesson I'll go and check, because after the lesson you're going to get busy with something else and it's probably not going to happen. So please do try to keep a mirror close by. I've also written here that note taking is recommended. Again, this is not a requirement. This is not something that you have to do. Both of these things are not something you have to do, but these are ways to get the maximum benefit. If you're the type of person that, if you're the type of person that's, you're quite studious already and you've attended other courses and you're quite used to note taking, then by all means take notes for this as well. Take notes for the tajweed aspect, take notes for the tafsir aspect, especially for the tafsir. It's really, it means that you've got an opportunity to review. Before you start a lesson, go over what you've done the lesson before. Go over your notes. And these notes are for you. So don't take on any stress of my notes I have to make sure I write down every word. It could be maybe small takeaways or something that Sister Zuleika's mentioned from the tafsir, which has really hit home. It may have really touched you. And it may be something you want to remind yourself of. So, have some paper and have some pencil or pen to hand and take notes of at least the key things that stand out. You can also do that for the tajweed side. So if you're given a tip, for example, supposing you know that a certain letter you've had trouble with, and you've been given a few pointers on how to fix that, then you write it down, because chances are that the next day or whenever you practice again, we're insan, right? We're prone to forgetting things. So it's only natural that we do forget things. So write it down so that sometimes you can come back the next day, a week later, a month later, and you can have a look at that again and remind yourself, this is what I needed to do. For questions, and we know that there normally are questions, and I've touched on questions already. The best place to ask your questions are on the Telegram group. And you can make questions as we're going on the YouTube. However, I must warn you, they are moderated, so not everything is going to come through. It's going to be only relevant questions that will be coming through, inshallah. So those are your two avenues for questions. You've got your Telegram group and you've got the YouTube comments that you can make. And of course, we advise lots of practice and lots of review. We remember things best with repetition. And we remember, if you go over something once, you may understand it. You go over something twice, you'll understand it even better. The more times you go over it, the more chances it is that it's going to really cement, and you'll be able to recollect that information a lot more easier. So lots of practice. Please do not think that you just come to the lesson, you practice with me, or you listen to Sister Zuleika's side, and then that's it, close everything for the day, you're done. Please do try to use little pockets of time that you may have throughout the day to read over, to keep practicing, inshallah. That's the way to do it. That's how you're going to stay on top, inshallah. And of course, we ask you to enjoy the journey. For some of you, this is a continuation of things that you already do. Maybe you've done a few other courses, or you attend a regular class in your locality, or you may be somebody who's doing it for the first time. This is maybe the first sort of official type of course that you're doing, perhaps. However you got here, whatever part of your journey, learning and studying the Quran is a journey. And the end, really, there is no end. We keep learning until we meet Allah. We keep learning. And really, this journey is one of sweetness. It is supposed to be enjoyed. It gives you contentment, and it keeps you happy, and it keeps you focused. It keeps your perspective on life right. Sometimes we can get very affected or very bogged down by just things that are happening in life. And the Quran really is something there to realign us, get our thinking in the right place, get us into the right mindset. So, and the reason, and so, yeah, just enjoy it. And now I've written after that, take what you can. And there's a reason I've written that. Now, because we have such a large number of you attending these sessions, it means that we have a lot of you from different backgrounds, not in terms of where you are or what language you speak, but in terms of how much knowledge you already have in terms of the Tajweed. Some of you are going to be coming in as complete beginners. Some of you are coming in as somebody who may have done a short course here and there. Some of you may be a lot more advanced. Maybe you're in a position where you could take my place and teach. Some of you may be of that level. We've got a real range of students attending. The ideal scenario is that I get to listen to each person individually, but it's not feasible with the numbers that we have. It is something we do in our courses. When we teach our Tajweed courses that run throughout the year, they have smaller numbers. We have a maximum of 12 per class, and the teachers do listen to all the students on a one-to-one level. You get that personal attention. But what we're doing now is the next best thing. So it's going to be trying to cater for all of you. And really what I need to emphasize for all of you is, do not think, please, that you have to understand and take everything I say. Okay? It's not about being able to absorb and apply every piece of information that I give you or that Sister Zuleika gives you. It's about taking what you can. They say Rome wasn't built in one day. You can't be expected to remember and apply and retain everything that we give you. And I want you to be able to take what you can. If you're a beginner and you've understood something, brilliant. Keep a note of it, write it down, review it. If there is something that's not making sense, don't worry. Don't worry about it. It's probably something which is for the students that are a little bit further up on the knowledge path than you. It may be somebody for the students that are a bit more advanced, and just let it go in one ear out the other. Don't worry. Okay? Please do not get stressed and think, I didn't understand that. There will be something that you will understand for the day. Whatever you understand, take it. For our courses that we teach, we do go through things in a systematic way. We start off at a beginner's level, we move through to the middle level, and then we go on to advanced level. But the nature of this course is such that we've got a lot of different abilities. And so I'm going to try and cater for all of you so that there's something that you can take away every day, that everyone can take away. The beginners can take away something, the advanced levels can take away something else. Okay, I won't be going over everything, but I will be going over key things and maybe I may touch on different pieces of knowledge on different days. So take what you can, enjoy it. That's the main thing you're doing Quran. It's supposed to give you sakina. It's supposed to be a time of it's a moment between you and Allah. You're supposed to feel that closeness and take pleasure in spending those minutes, those moments with Allah's book. That's your primary focus. Okay. Now this next page is actually one which is quite is very important, and it's one of the main reasons I also wanted to go through an introductory session with you today. It's really talking about what we expect from you. So the first thing is, this class is for sisters only. So please, if you do have, for example, brothers in the house or husbands in the house, then please do just be aware of that really this class is only for sisters. And that brings me to the next point, which is if you're accessing the class from a laptop or a computer or whichever device it is, please access the class from a quiet location in your home so that you're not in view. So for example, sit with your back to a wall so nobody can walk past you and have a look in. This is I know for some sisters, this is not really an issue. And for some sisters, they understand and they respect this opinion. Whatever our personal issues are, we need to respect those of our teachers and those who are instructing us. So please do just respect the privacy, which comes to that the next point. Well, the second next point. Please do respect the privacy of your teacher. All our content is only for women, inshallah. And also, just how we've asked you to sit in a quiet place in your house where you're out of view, where people can't see this, wherever non-mahrams cannot see the screen. If you can, please use earphones or headphones so that also our voices are not heard. Especially, like, for example, when I'm reciting Quran, personally, I prefer not to have anybody hear, any non-mahrams hear my voice. So I ask you to respect my wishes, and please do take precautions, please. Also, if I can ask for no videos, no pictures, no screenshots of any kind, please, to be taken during the class. And this could be either of the teachers or I don't think that you'll be seeing any students, but if on occasion you do, then also not of the students, but also not also of the presentations. And also, you'll notice that we send links to you. You get links via email, you get links through the Telegram group. Please do not share these links with anybody else. That's why we sort of get you all to register, because when you register, we can verify that you're sisters, we have your details, and then we only send the link to you. So please do not send the link to anybody else. If you do have other sisters who are interested, please get them to subscribe, get them to register, and they can join at any time, inshallah. And of course, we have to end with some Quran. And I wanted to just bring your attention to this part of an ayah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن هدى للناس شهر رمضان, the month of Ramadan, الذي, the one, فيه, the one in which. Let me just make sure I've got my annotator on. So we've got here شهر Ramadan, the month of Ramadan is the one in which, in it, unzila, the Quran was sent down in it. The Quran was sent down in the month of Ramadan. And the reason I wanted to bring up this ayah is because, you know, whenever we think of Ramadan, we always think of our first thoughts always go to fasting, because it's a very physical act that you're doing, and therefore, you know, it's a physical effort. So when we think of Ramadan, we think of the physical effort, what action we need to do, and we do think of fasting. But Allah's sort of making us think in a slightly different way here. Allah saying because the month of the Quran, the primary thing that we think of shouldn't actually be fasting. Although fasting is a very important part of it, it's not the first thing that should come to our mind. شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن. It is all about the Quran. The month of Ramadan is about the Quran. It is about the connection. It's about your connection with Allah's words. It's your connection with Allah. And it's about, for those of us who need to re-establish those connections, we re-establish those connections. For those of us that need to strengthen our connection, we strengthen our connection. And we strengthen it through the Quran. So in Ramadan, and well done to all of you for actually signing up for a Quran course, whether it be this one or any other one. Well done, because it means you're already going into the month ready. You're going into the month thinking, yes, I have to dedicate my time to the Quran. You're already signed up. You're already mentally, you know, prepared to connect with Allah through His book. And you know, towards the end, you see here, it says Hudal Linnas, a guidance for the people. And I have got the translation at the bottom. Let me just bring that up. It is a guidance for the people. What does, you know, when you think about guidance, it's something we ask from Allah every single day. every salah that you're reading, you're saying, Ihdina, guide us. Because really, if we don't have the guidance, we're lost. You know, our success lies in the guidance that Allah gives us. And Allah tells us here, where does that guidance lie? It lies in the Quran. How do we take the guidance? How do we use the Quran to guide us? You know, there's different aspects, different ways you can use the Quran. You can use the Quran by recitation. You can be reciting it a lot. You could be memorizing it, which is another part of that, because with memorization comes the recitation of it. So one way is the recitation or the memorization. That's one aspect. But then you've got the aspect of the translation, of the tafsir, of the understanding. And they both go hand in hand. Ideally, we want to do both. And that's what we've tried to do here at QSL with the Juz Tabarak, with this course, is we're trying to apply both. We're trying to make sure that we're doing the recitation or the memorization, but we're trying to recite it the best we can. And we're trying to put that together with trying to understand it the best we can. I know through this, inshallah, we have the intention that Allah is going to guide us as we learn this surah. So stay with us for the month, see it to the end. Let it be that you come to the end and you've completed a surah of the Quran. You understand that surah of the Quran, and now you're ready to recite it every night after Ramadan, in Ramadan and after Ramadan. But it's something you'll continue to recite. It becomes almost like a companion for you, something that you're going to be frequently reciting. So, sometimes when you do something, it seems like you're doing something small. You come into, you may start something, maybe, for example, memorizing, or it could be that you're just, you start reading a translation, and maybe you're reading just half a page a day or a page a day, and then eventually you start to devalue it, not because it is devalued, but you yourself start to prioritize other things that you want to do instead, partly because of the distractions of the dunya. But we have to, this month is such a good opportunity for us to stick with something. The month of Ramadan has blessings that come with it. It is easier to do acts of ibadah in the month of Ramadan. And so this is a really good opportunity to do something, do it well, do it to its completion, so that at the end of it, your connection with Allah and your relationship with him has become more beautiful. You feel more close, you have that Iman boost, and you're ready to face the rest of the year. You're ready to then do another surah. You're ready to then carry on memorizing something else or looking at the understanding of another surah, but you're ready. As I said, it's a springboard for you to continue onto something else, inshallah. So I ask the final slide. We are just wrapping up now. Of course, we can't end without, my dua is that, first of all, Allah purifies our intentions. This is something that we all, every single one of us, not just me as a student who's going to try to help you with what just passing on what I've learned, and same with Sister Zuleika. But you as all coming to the class, and even those of us who are working hard in the background, trying to make sure these things run smoothly, but all of us, every single one of us, we need to keep in check our intention. We need to, and it's something that you don't do once, you do it again and again and again. You do it at the beginning of class, you do it in the middle of the classes, you do it towards the end of the classes. It's something that you have to keep checking, because it's something that can switch and something that can change very easily. And when it changes, it can render everything to be fruitless. So we need to always keep in mind, why are we doing this? Who are we doing it for? What is our intention? So think about that to yourself. Think about it now. Think about it before our class starts tomorrow. And I ask Allah to grant us, all of us, the best Ramadan this year that we've ever had in our life. May it be one which is a real success for us. May Allah guide us, coming back to the same concept of huda, may Allah guide us through our study of his words, but may Allah guide us to do whatever is loved by him, whatever he loves. May Allah open that for us, open that avenue for us, allow us to do those things. And of course, as humans, we always make mistakes. We are not perfect. So we ask Allah to also forgive us in our shortcomings, and that he admits us all into Jannatul Firdaus, and he allows us all to connect with him this Ramadan through this course, inshallah. Barakallahu fikum. And inshallah, bismillah, we're ready to start for tomorrow. So I look forward to seeing you all, inshallah, same time tomorrow, inshallah. Tomorrow we'll be starting with the very beginning. So we'll be looking at the isti'adha and the basmallah, which will be quite exciting because it's something that I think we're all very, very, very familiar with. And it'll be nice to sort of look at that and how to read it properly. And you'll also be looking at some of the virtues of Surah Tabarak, which of course will increase your yearning to understand it. So inshallah, see you all tomorrow. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik. Nashhadu an la ilaha illa ant. Nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Barakallahu li wa lakum fil Qur'an al-Kareem wa nafa'ani wa iyyakum bil ayati wa dhikri al-hakim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Take care, everybody.